keep it 8 more than 92 with me one.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 8 More Than 92 podcast, where we always keep it 100. We're your host, Harrison.
Banks.
All right, so we sit back, everybody. We're getting to you live for our video podcast and our regular audio podcast, so we're glad to be back. Before we start our show off, we want to make sure we give a special shout out to our first sponsor, Bamboo Rum. Yes, it's a very tasty rum that we go out here and make sure it gets you right where you need to be. So whenever y'all get a chance,
make sure like it.
Exactly, and my man doesn't drink, so if you ever in that mood and you want to rum things up, make sure you go get you some Bamboo Rum, man. It's on the shelves. It's definitely good. Fighter. They're sponsoring the 8 More Than 92 podcast, so we want to make sure that we shout them out for being our very first sponsors. We appreciate you, and as you can see, the bottle's already been tapped. So that means we ain't just talking about it, we being about it, so we don't have it. So y'all, welcome back to another episode of 8 More Than 92 podcast. This is a special episode because not only do we have a guest on the show, this person happens to have a special relationship with me. It's my little brother, Noah. I want to shout this out by saying thank you to him, because without his advice, I wouldn't be able to, without his help, we wouldn't have been able to start our podcast. So he was very influential of helping us get started. So he also has his own podcast, Therapeutic Distraction. So we're going to take this time to let him introduce himself.
All right, thanks for the rollout. Thank you for having me on. Thanks, Harrison. Yes, NoahHellaHandsome from Therapeutic Distraction podcast and from Nashville Zone. Glad to be here.
We appreciate it. Go ahead and tell them a little bit about your podcast and what y'all talk about on there.
Well, like you said earlier, I'm your brother's keeper. You're my.
Didn't say that.
You didn't say that? You didn't mention something like that? Well, yeah. But no, I got, we got my own little podcast going on. We started about a year. This time last year in January. Officially started last year. So we've been doing that for about a year. That I host with Nate the Great. And it's been fun, man. It's been real fun. Podcast is fun. I'm glad that I was able to help you on your path to starting your podcast, you and Banks. I enjoy listening to it. You guys do a great job, and it's real fun. And I'm glad to be a part of y'all's, be y'all's first, not your first guest, but to be here as another podcaster, as your brother, brother's keeper. To be here and looking forward to it.
We appreciate that. I do have a question for you though. Are we famous enough for you now?
Yeah.
Pretty trifling.
Yeah, I would say, it's all misconstrued, brother. It's all misconstrued.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
But
we hit a plateau now, everybody. We finally got enough listeners on our podcast to where the Noah the Great, Noah Average Handsome, will be the guest on our podcast. But we appreciate you coming through, man. So
glad to be here, man. Glad to be here.
Let's kick this episode off strong. First thing, shout out to the All-Star Weekend.
Yeah, that's been pretty interesting, especially with the young boys, with the World versus the USA game, which I really just felt like low-key better dunk contest than what we got, but with Zion and Ja. But I don't know what else happened. I know Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield got the 3-point, won the 3-point contest. I don't know who won the skills challenge.
Bam Adebayo.
Oh, Bam from Miami. Okay.
Miami had all of them.
So Bam, and of course we all know who won the dunk contest, which Aaron Gordon was still kind of salty about. I heard he was saying he was done with the dunk contest. He gonna go on and do the 3-point contest.
He got robbed.
Now, he won the first time, right?
He didn't win any.
He didn't. Okay, so that's who won.
Yeah, he said he had, up until that last one, he had all 50s.
Yeah.
And then
when he jumps over Taco,
they should have just tied it, because even Derrick Jones Jr., he was above the line when he did his, so they didn't. He was past the free throw line. I know he did a windmill, and it was still ridiculous, but I don't know. D-Wade, I personally think, and I love D-Wade, but D-Wade, I think, kind of did that on purpose so Miami could win the dunk contest. We all know, but it was probably the best dunk contest we had since maybe the Dwight Howards or Nate Robinson dunk contest.
When was what's his name?
What?
He played for Detroit now.
Oh, Blake Griffin?
Yeah, when was his? Because that got him to Kia Soul and all that. That got him the commercials and everything.
He went over the smallest part of the car. He went over the smallest
When was that one? Who was his competition in?
I can't remember who his competition was. We just remember Blake
jumping over the smallest part of the car.
Yeah, but so far it's been a pretty good All-Star weekend. They got the All-Star game today. You know, they changed the rules on that one. And now they also got a new All-Star MVP, which is to the late great Kobe Bryant, the Kobe Bryant Award. So that's pretty good on that one. Shout out to showing my man ample respect. How did you feel about it, Noah, for the All-Star game?
What are the new rule changes?
Okay. The new rule changes is each quarter basically is you play a quarter, and after the quarter, like that's the score, and then it's 0-0 the next quarter, and then to the final quarter it's 0-0 again. But they add 24 points in honor of Kobe to the end of the final score. So whoever like had the most score gets 24 points added to it, and that will determine your winner. So it's basically that way it's competitive all 4 quarters instead of people just waiting to the 4th quarter, because after each quarter is 0-0. But I'm talking about as far as the stuff that's already happened. And also, did you watch any of it?
Yeah, I didn't see the skills challenge. I saw the 3-point shootout, which I thought Devin Booker was going to win. And that's usually my favorite part of All-Star Weekend as far as anything besides the game. I liked it. It just seemed like none of the guys, like, I don't know. Every single time I see Trae Young out there, I just think like, man, he does not look like a basketball, like NBA player. He's like a little kid. His hair's goofy.
You know what they say about Steph?
Yeah, but at least Steph's like 6'3", you know, like he probably looks a little bigger in person, but like you just look at Trae Young, he look like just some kid, right? But they didn't really, none of them came out like really high. They were all kind of slow shooting, so that part, you know, watching it this year wasn't all that special. And then I didn't watch the skill challenge, but I saw some clips and it was okay. The dunk contest was cool. I didn't know Eric Gordon didn't win the one you say he didn't win.
Yeah, he lost to Zach LaVine.
Because I feel like he's in it a lot. And
he's only been in it twice.
Or I feel like I've seen him a lot in highlights where I just thought he won those contests, but definitely he got robbed. Because his one dunk, which was like that little windmill from the side, that shit was, I ain't never seen that like that. So that was cool.
Yeah, he hands down had top dog spirit. So again, I was hard.
And I missed the Rising Stars and the Celebrity Game. Did you watch Celebrity Game?
I never catch that.
But the Rising Star game actually looked entertaining. But I didn't watch it. I just kind of woke up the next morning and just saw the highlights of it, which is what all I needed to see. But Zion did okay. RJ Barrett. What's the dude from the Hornets? He was supposed to be in the dunk contest. He won the Rising Star, light-skinned dude. Miles Bridges.
Oh, okay.
He was out there yapping on their ass, so it was good on that.
I always thought it was kind of unfair in the Celebrity Game that they have like WNBA players, because like they probably should be able to dominate.
I think they're retired.
Oh, I feel like they'd be active somehow,
No,
but they're retired. Yeah, but that's, you know, so it was cool. I think the game should be interesting, but it's probably gonna be lopsided. Just you would think it's lopsided based on the teams and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that sees me on the video podcast looking at my watch, it's because I'm making sure the cameras are aligned.
Because he hates you.
I'm not trying to be like, oh, how much longer this shit got? We only at 8 minutes in. But anybody sees me looking down, you can look at the camera on your phone from your watch. So I'm just making sure we all align from there. But it seems like everything's kind of going back down to normal since Kobe and everything died. It seems like everybody's been able to function and get back stuff and talk about just going back to their normal days and lives. Did any of y'all see the Gayle King interview with Lisa Leslie?
Yeah, so I saw that, and I thought from the clip that we saw, because the whole thing isn't out yet, right? Right. Or is it out?
The whole thing's out.
Okay, so I haven't seen the whole thing, but that clip definitely looked like she was pressing Lisa for info, and of course everybody's been saying like how Lisa held it down. It was like basically y'all need to stop talking about this. Mm-hmm. This wasn't Kobe. This wasn't how he got down. Cut it out. And even when she said that, Gayle pushed back and was like, well, you know, the case was dismissed. No, she said the case was dismissed, and Gayle was like, but, you know, we know it. Like, she was trying to wink and nod to, like, we know why it was dismissed.
Hey, we know them dollars at.
and you know, but yeah, Lisa held it down. I appreciate her for that. It was definitely, she definitely deserved all of the critique and the backlash. I don't know about these death threats.
Oh, he's so cool. He's so cool.
I don't know. Like I would need some info.
Did you have a problem with Snoop calling her out, cussing her out?
Honestly, that just sounds like something Snoop does. Number one, because he does everybody like that. I guess it was because it was a woman, you know, and a black woman on top of that. You know, because he's married to one, he has one. That I guess people they didn't sit well with them, but I felt like that was just a Snoop thing to say. So I mean, how are we rating people? Like by just regular, or are we like that's Snoop? But I mean, he definitely went too far. If we're gonna talk about that part. I mean, calling her all that stuff he called her, but I mean, that seemed like, oh yeah, that's something he would say.
It's called something like basket ass bitch or something like
that. Yeah,
he
called her real basic something.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've actually, every time I've asked a few people about like Kobe, and if they don't like Kobe, it's always usually the same reason, which I kind of think was kind of what Gayle was kind of coming from, which is, oh, Kobe raped somebody / he cheated on his wife, which is a valid reason not to like somebody, and obviously his death being tragic and untimely, you know, it's hard for you to kind of switch off that. So a lot of people I've talked to about it kind of been on that side with that guy, kind of Gayle was coming from, as far as them not liking Kobe because his infidelity or whatever it was, you know, just kind of some petty.
It was a rape allegation. What did you feel though about like Gayle's approach to it? What was your opinion on the questions that Gayle asked?
Every time I see somebody make questions, it's like when they kind of like cross that line, when they bring up something it's quote unquote controversial, it's like they got to do it. It's weird.
But what did you feel about Gayle though asking the question? When you saw Gayle ask the question, what did you say?
I didn't think it like Oprah. If it was Oprah, it'd been something. If it was Gayle, I mean, Gayle. I look at Gayle like Gayle's can do that and get away with it. If Oprah said it, then I'd probably be like, man, Oprah, you ain't gotta go there because you know Kobe's on that level of people we look.
Fuck Gayle out here doing to make Gayle so special that
no, that's what I'm saying. Oprah would be to me. If what you're asking, like I would probably feel. Though. No, I know, but I would just feel some more kind of like I feel indifferent when it comes to Gayle, just because it's Gayle. You know, she's gotta make her name too. You know, so she's gonna ask those crazy questions. Cause then she say something about wasn't like I know she did R. Kelly, but wasn't she on it with Michael Jackson when they had his documentary where she kind of bring up his stuff too? Like I feel like it's just something like somebody like her would do to kind of like get her name out there. Whereas if it was Oprah, then I'd probably
everybody knows Gayle King, bro. Just say you ain't got no opinion, cause everybody knows who Gayle King is.
Well, I mean, like I said, I didn't feel
like if they don't know her from her interviews, they know her as Oprah's right hand woman.
Well, I didn't feel like it was too much of a big deal coming.
She's a non-gay version of Whitney Houston's best friend. Like everybody everywhere together. Like everybody like knows Gayle King is a great journalist.
Yeah.
So it ain't like if anything, it makes them look worse to me. I mean, if it was me, that makes them look worse because they seem like the two of them are in cohorts. Now I get why everybody's mad at Gayle because Oprah was doing the Russell Simmons thing, and then she did the Russell Simmons interview where she backed off, said she felt pressured, and then the thing with Michael Jackson after he was already dead, it just seemed like Oprah, because of the Me Too situation, she just only goes after the prominent black people that are accused, but not anybody that was white. That was from my senses of the general. I mean, that was my general like consensus from it.
Yeah, I feel like that was a lot of people's. Like I saw a post that was basically like a lot of people from the community are seeing a lot of this energy put forth towards black men when their best friends, Weinstein and his name's drawing a blank right now, but some other dude, Al Franken, when they do these suspect moves, Gayle is on audio talking about the Al Franken situation. Apparently Al Franken, I guess, pantomimed or touched a woman's breast. And so he got killed for it or whatever for a second. And Gayle was like, I mean, but that was just a sophomoric, he was just a weird, you know, he was just having fun. But, you know, now we got the R. Kelly out, we got Bill Cosby, we got all these other things. A lot of people just feel like that a part of the community feel like they are attacking black men specifically and allowing their white counterparts room to breathe. And because nobody's making no movies about Harvey Weinstein, nobody's making any movies about Elvis Presley and about Huey Lewis and about all these people. I think
everybody that's
that was one of them.
Yeah, everybody that's come through. Because I'm not saying they had the chances, but think what was the guy who made the Nat Turner movie?
Nate Parker.
Nate Parker
canceled, and he beat he charges was beat. Russell Simmons, Michael Jackson, not all as far as Me Too, but just any type of allegations of sexual misconduct, whether it be with kids or adults. Who else got that was? They removed Russell Simmons' name off of Def Jam completely. It's just all deaf if they do that.
Oh yeah.
Who else got canceled that you can think of?
Dude from House of Cards.
Well, he was white. Kevin Spacey.
I know. I'm saying that. Yeah.
Fucking kids. But it's just like it's the law. Oh, what's his name? The guy from The Chi.
Oh, Jason.
Yeah,
Mitchell.
he was on there. He was one. So it's just.
Which I mean, when he went on the Breakfast Club, I felt like he don't even know. If you ever watch his Breakfast Club interview, he doesn't even know what he did to be kicked off the show and all this other stuff. And a lot of stuff he said that he and Lena have two different perspectives on what happened. And it's almost on the verge of one of them saying one of them is lying. But neither one of them come out and say that. Because I watched her phone-in interview when it first happened, or I listened to it. I watched his video, and then I saw her again on there talking about Queen and Slim. Wasn't that the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Talking about Queen and Slim, and they both was low key like he lying or she lying.
Yeah.
And then when she went so far as to be like, low key, I would never work with him again. He definitely seemed like he was like, basically, I felt like he wanted to say, "You doing a lot. You doing a lot of." Shucking, you doing a lot of that for these people, because that's pretty a harsh thing to say. Like you never want to work with somebody again. Which I mean, she basically said it. Yeah. I mean, if anybody wants to go look at it, and do their research, they can watch the video. And she was basically like, "Yeah, I don't find myself being in a place where I want to work with him."
Yeah, I just think, like I said, it comes off as them attacking African American man. And Michael Eric Dyson had a point when I was watching Your Pops. He just said, did they do something? Yes. Was it a foul mistake? Yes. But the cancel culture just can't discredit all the work Oprah done did for black people and all that for a simple mistake. And I think that's where we're in right now. I think it was a little shitty. And I think their recent track history has shown that they're not going to the depths that we know of yet.
Yeah, they trending down.
They're trending down right there, but it's not
black people cash.
As far as I know, I can't really cancel Oprah and all them because they have done so much for the community. I just think that the time and place a week after he died, your main focus, and Gayle, come on now, she's like, it wasn't supposed to be edited like that. Them questions was like, it wasn't like it was chop paste and all them questions came straight forward. But he'll always have the rape. He always will have that rape allegation on his name. Like it wasn't like they swindled it like you had asked. He'll always, and they took that part, be a Laker. They chopped the Laker part off and rape. You know what I'm saying? It was like straightforward questions. So I just think that part of it I had a problem with. I don't know if I would cancel them because, like I said, they've done a lot. We just can't just dismiss
I would push
that.
back on that. I want to know what that a lot is. I need you to provide me with some evidence of what a lot looks like. What have Gayle and Oprah done specifically for black people?
Yeah, I provide.
No, I mean, I'm just in general that idea.
Yeah,
I push back on it because I want somebody to provide me with like this list of things that they've done for us specifically, not you. We ain't got that kind of time or resources, but I'm on the fence about that because they are. Even if I agree with that, like you are trending this way.
Man, it's like Trump did a lot. I'm not saying for black people. I'm just saying I'm saying it's just like Trump did a lot at one point in time for business people that black people were messing with him. You get what I'm saying? Okay. That doesn't excuse everything he's done there because at one point for 20 some odd years he was doing something that for some stupid reason black people admire. Even though of course we all know Trump been racist. But I'm just saying like in general, like you can't just start doing fuck shit now and then hold on to principles of what I used to do Black Girls Rock, or I opened up a school in Africa, or I did all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I get that. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't excuse what you trending down with. I'm just like, I put it like this. They got one more move. They got one more move. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I agree with Michael Eric Dyson about the whole cancel culture. I had to really sit with it for a while. But like his thing is, from my understanding, is you should be able to call things what they are. What your behavior is problematic. Bill Cosby, whoever, like that was problematic behavior. You wilding out. Okay, but we can't also at the same time sit up and act like Bill didn't put things in motion for other black entertainers and other people. So like, yes, world, Bill, you was doing dirt, and that's bad. Okay, but we can still,
still ain't shit ass nigga for raping people. You know what I'm saying?
Right, or I don't want to use Bill because I feel like I don't really know enough about that case still.
Would you say it's comparable to how they were trying to cancel Jay-Z after he came out his partnership with the NFL? Because that was the argument too. That was the argument that two people like, well, you can't just ignore everything Jay-Z done for us.
I was just gonna say no on it. I don't think I would compare that to Jay-Z. I just think Jay-Z looks more business than anything. I just don't agree with. People didn't agree with him because it just seemed like he took a stance when the black people were still kind of like saying F the NFL. You don't know? So I guess. Oh, does it?
Well, yeah, I was saying, I was just kind of just hearing y'all thinking about that.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's kind of what I thought about. Like,
but this segues what I also wanted to ask you. Now, this is when you got to really think. All right. So I was watching Charles Barkley had made a.
I still haven't watched that.
I saw like the gist of it, and somebody was talking about this at work. Now, the world did stop, in everybody's opinion, for Kobe. Now, at this point, do we need to recognize? Now, it's a couple weeks has passed since it happened. Do we need to recognize Kobe as a godlike figure, or do we need to realize that Kobe was just a basketball player? Because that's where everybody seems to be upset, even though it was mourning and things like that. And Charles Barkley was basically saying, yes, he was one of the best basketball players ever, but he didn't say these words exactly, but he was a doctor and stopped Martin Luther King or something like that, and he's getting MLK praise. Just because of what he did for a generation of people that molded whether it be a career or something with that Mamba mentality. So is it now we a couple weeks out and we're able to step away from the pain? Is it something we have to realize, like, are we going to eventually have to put him in a person's place or just a great athlete that we lost place? Because do you think right now he's in godlike form?
So what I hear when you answer that question is, I guess I imagine if I was looking at a book of famous African Americans, where would he fall? And for me, and if I was to show my book to my future kid, he would fall in the athlete category. Mm-hmm. Like you're saying, like from what I hear you say, Charles was saying is you need to keep it in perspective.
Yeah.
He didn't save anybody's life. He didn't do no first heart transplant for a black man. He didn't, do the first amputation for a black. Like he didn't do. He's not out here on the front lines as a police officer. None of that. He was a basketball player.
It ain't even like Ali not going to war.
Right. He didn't. He didn't make any social stands as far as we know, and he was at the tail end of career, or even his career was over when they started to do the social movement.
You talking about Muhammad Ali?
Kobe.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think he was out of the league when they started doing that.
He was still in.
He was on the end.
Right when that's when police brutality started coming.
Right, so he was on the tail end. So I mean, I have no idea what Kobe would have did if he was in a Muhammad Ali type of situation. I look at Kobe as a great basketball player, a potentially good role model, and I even look at his transgressions as an even better thing to look like. Okay, yes, the greatest basketball player ever messed up at a point, and look what he did to rectify it. Like Michael Eric Dyson was saying, he became so committed to women. He has nothing but girls. He was only involved. He even said it on the podcast with Stax. And Matt Barnes.
Oh,
you listen to that?
I'm bothered.
No,
that's not
all the smoke.
All the smoke. He said it. He was talking about. I wasn't even watching basketball. I only watch it because Gigi watches it so much now. Like that was the only reason he was even watching basketball anymore, because his daughter.
Kobe said that on
all the smoke.
I was talking about Eric Michael Dyson. I was like, I ain't seen him on that.
Well,
I didn't see the unequivocally point that was made for him that Biggie once said that it was all a dream. And only time he was up there was when he used to read Word Up magazine, brother. So why don't you electrify and stimulate yourself to move it in another way? All right, good.
Eric Michael Dyson.
Yo, Pappy.
So yeah, to round off my response, Kobe is just an athlete to me, a phenomenal athlete. He left his mark. I'm not mad at anybody who looks towards him for anything. I wanted to even start watching his things on ESPN where he would break down film, because I would see the little clips of it. And it's just like, man, he really knows what he's talking about. I know that sounds crazy, but like, just to know he was doing something for 20 years. Like, he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like, and I find that so I find it fascinating for him and really anybody. Like, if anybody, like Chadwick Boseman, right? He's been acting for a long time. If he did a breakdown of how to act, I would be like, wow, that's crazy that you know your craft so well. I'm really impressed by that. I'm really impressed by people who know their craft inside and out. And so it was called detail. Peyton Manning does it too.
You side note, it's funny. I didn't even cut you off, but because I didn't want to forget it. It lets you know how far even the most like thorough sports debate or basketball enthusiast fan is far from the professional when you hear his. Like,
oh, okay.
That's what I was thinking about. Like, when you say he breaks it down, like how much he knew. And you talk to people that know sports, like, oh, I know this, can tell me every stat or tell me this defense is on. And he was well above them.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that's like the genius of, because them broadcasters can tell you something, but the way he breaks it down, the way he sees it, lets you know what type of lane he was in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree. So, Kobe was an athlete, a great athlete, not God level in my eyes. There's just too much other stuff that's happened that's a part of our history for me to put him on some sort of pedestal like that.
So you would say, like, now that the ores kind of come down now, a couple weeks out of it, like, you're able to kind of put them back in.
Yeah, I'm able to compartmentalize.
Yeah,
I'm able to compartmentalize Kobe's legacy.
Put them back in the athlete box. I got you. What about you?
Definitely. I agree. It's after some time now. I've got to process it, and I still don't really know what I was thinking before I found out. Like, my whole thought process, I still can't remember where it's gone since it happened. But I am able to just kind of sit back and just accept it. Kobe. Thinking about this is probably the way Kobe wanted to go. Just in my opinion, I think Kobe wouldn't have wanted any other way to be remembered than this. After some time, the tragedy of it is really what kind of impacts you. But I think he'll always be remembered to me as somebody who was a great player, who nobody thought he'd be able to transition post basketball, because he wasn't well liked in his career, and all the many issues and beats he had people. I think him doing what he was doing post basketball just really speaks to the person he actually ended up being, which is also going along with his legacy of how we're gonna remember him. So for me, it never was like a godlike thing anyway, because he was never my favorite player ever. I never really liked the Lakers. I knew he was your favorite player. I know you liked them, and I just remember all the 2K battles and stuff we had. And I hated playing against him when he played against my team. But I never looked at him as a godlike figure anyway. It's just sad that how it happened. I still just think it's sad how it happened, and that the way we all found out is just, to me, I mean, you could probably maybe speak on it or kind of feel this too. Like, for me, the most it felt like was like Steve McNair, when Steve McNair got killed. Like, to me, Steve McNair is more of a guy, like, quote unquote godlike figure than Kobe, just because of how,
what?
That's what I'm saying. Like, to me,
Steve McNair was a godlike figure to you than Kobe?
A little bit, because he was the first black quarterback I grew up loving before Vince Young and all that. Like, Steve McNair was like
Don McNabb, Dante Culpepper, Steve McNair.
What team did Steve McNair play for?
The Titans.
All right, so why do I care about Don McNabb?
I'm just that was a guy.
Don McNabb was around, but Steve McNair was the first, and he came from Alcorn State, and I remember playing those backyard football games. They had all the Brett Favres and the Rich Gannons and Jeff Garcia, but Steve McNair was on there. I always picked Steve McNair because he black quarterback. So, yeah. So to me, that's more of a godlike figure, and this, but it was the same kind of impact. Like, when I found out Steve McNair died, it was like, whoa, this can't be real type thing. So yeah, Kobe's gonna be remembered for I think him showing when he's gonna be post basketball is gonna be even more like it's gonna be even more good for his legacy than just his basketball. So,
Steve McNair is definitely in nobody's top 5 guy like figures.
Okay.
But I think coming down like off of the Kobe's gone thing like you. I think so. I'm gonna tell you what it is because Kobe died in his prime, not his prime basketball, but his second prime, where Kobe was just that guy. He has the Tupac and Biggie effect.
Mm-hmm.
It means more to people while they're at their peak than in retrospect. So now you're gonna glorify, because I personally don't think, unpopular opinion, I personally don't think Biggie and Tupac were the 2 best. I just think they died at a time when they were at the height and they were putting out great music. Like if the baby was to die, right at the intro,
nobody
y'all would be like,
because baby don't give a fuck.
Yeah, baby was to die right there. You know what I'm saying? Like right at the peak, it would be like, the baby was about to be our Biggie, our Tupac for Carolina. You know what I'm saying? And I think we got, Baby's very popular.
I mean, he is. I guess. I guess because I have an example of that because we had Doe B.
Oh yeah, Doe B. I forgot. Oh, you had Alabama. Yeah.
And I was like, but even then, like I had heard about him. It was like, okay, Doe B got a buzz.
Let me find out.
And then he got a nice song and stuff. And the next thing I know, I hear he's killed, and it's like, dang, in your city too.
Juice WRLD down in the city,
right?
Not comparable.
And it's not. But did you mean Tentacion? Is that who you meant?
No, well, him too, but no. Juice WRLD's from Chicago.
I mean,
I thought he was somewhere else. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, that happened to Doe B, and I can't sit up here. Same thing. Like Doe B was going like this.
Yep.
I can't sit up here and act like I was like, dang.
I can't even name you 3 Doe B songs.
If Doe B had just had his chance, man. I can't. So I don't know. I kind of push back on that too. Like he was trending up, and I mean he died unfortunately, and I'm just like, okay. Like T.I., he was saying that. Like he was saying that he was talking to Jay-Z. And he would tell Jay-Z that Doe B is like the South's Biggie and all those stuff. I mean, T.I. clearly saw something that we didn't.
All T.I.'s artists.
But I mean, he actually had a relationship with.
That's what I'm saying.
Same with Bankroll. Like Bankroll is.
Which I kind of heard of him towards the end.
Yeah,
too.
and I was like, oh, Bankroll, okay, but just, like if Gucci would.
But I just remember that everything stopped. Like she was on every channel, and I remember getting like vague
information about what happened. They were fleeing. Then it came out later. They were fleeing from the paparazzi, such and such. They were speeding, and then later on, I guess what the verdict was that the driver, I think he was like under the influence of drugs. He had been drunk or something like that. And I don't know. It's just really unfortunate. But just to think about, because we're sitting up here mourning Kobe and how young Kobe seemed to be. And just to think about Diana being how she was young too. I think she might have been in her 30s when she died.
Let's fact check it.
Right, fact check. But that's what I like. When me and James and I spoke on the last podcast. I've been trying to figure out ways to feel, and me just kind of going back. Like I want to know, like, is this what this felt like? Like when Biggie died, when Pac died, like when Nip died. Like, is this what that felt like? And I guess my answer is, I guess, yes. You know, these people getting cut down in their prime and these so unexpected, like these ways are so, I'm like, what, a helicopter crash? You know, not a shootout, but like, you know, Nipsey getting gunned down, like that was so crazy. Just after I got through watching something on him, you know. But yeah, I just think about that sometimes, like who going in, now we're starting a new decade. 36, okay. Starting a new decade now. Who was gonna be those people? Like when our kids are coming up, that they gonna see die, and we're gonna be like, really? Because I could have sold Stevie Wonder to you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I could have sold some old person to you that that makes sense. But you talking about Kobe, and Nip, and Left Eye. Like we were younger. Like if you would have told up like Left Eye. and all these other people. What, you know?
We'll give you a perfect example of how it's because of the prime. Because even with Kobe dying now, he's going to be looked at as.
It's still surreal.
He's better
like I really still be like he's dead.
Yeah, that's still real because the pictures just seem like the videos just make it seem like he's still here. But he's better than Jordan now. Like that put him. But I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. My homeboy Barrett told me this. I work with him. He was like, think about it. Prince died. How many of y'all really reacted when Prince died? Prince was a big fucking deal. When Michael Jackson died, how many of y'all was really stopped?
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
He stopped.
It was a lot. I mean, it did not suck. But what I'm saying is, it wasn't like this. But if he would have died at Remember the Time or I'm Gonna Rock With You, that's what I'm saying. So like because he's out his prime, that boosted it up. So that's what I think from there. So I just think that he's on a plateau because of the death. It doesn't change where he stands with me because of the death, but like it's like I said, it's the Aaliyah, Tupac, Biggie thing. When you're at your prime and you die, that's a different kind of way to go for that. So with that happening, that's basically how it was. So
okay.
Did you have a while I get the doorbell? Did you have a segue?
I was gonna segue. Did you?
No.
So yeah, I just wanted to segue into another topic that was going on. Since I know we were talking about Kobe, we're gonna keep it in the sports world for just a little longer. Last week, D Wade came out. I guess semi-controversial interview with Ellen, basically talking about how I don't know what words to look for, but essentially he has accepted that his son Zion has transitioned into his daughter Zaya. And I know a lot of people, like I follow a lot of posts, like I've said on here before, of people who are part of the conscious community. And I also just have my own thoughts about it. And I guess my piece is, I'm gonna put a disclaimer first. In my real life, outside of the podcast, not trying to provide content, in my real life, I probably wouldn't care about this. Wouldn't be something that I would discuss outside of me and my fiance or whatever. Even if it was like a relative of mine going through this, I wouldn't be trying to but for the sake of the podcast and for the sake of content, I have developed an opinion. And how old is this kid? 12?
His name's Zion too, like his actual name.
He is a she now, but his name was Zion, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So my opinion on that is, I feel like if you wouldn't leave that kid alone at the house by themselves because you were afraid of what might happen, I just don't understand how you could also allow that same child the ability to tell you what they are. If you wouldn't leave your kid, if you wouldn't let your kid drive, if you wouldn't let your kid behind the bar serving drinks, if you wouldn't let your kid smoke, if you wouldn't let your kid do a lot of stuff that would be detrimental to their physical, mental, and spiritual, how could you allow your child to make a life-altering transition at 12? I feel a way about that for the sake of content. I don't think it makes a lot of sense.
Just hearing what you're saying, do you think it has anything to do with because of the resources and the lifestyle that Dwayne Wade's able to provide his trans daughter, you know, as far as
transitioning son to daughter-in-law.
As far as being able to grow up financially okay and kind of like can live above maybe what maybe a normal person going through that. I say normal, but like a financially normal person going through the day-to-day of being sexually confused or, you know, feeling sexually like their gender is like there is in question. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You waiting on me?
Well, no, I was trying to figure out what was going on.
Live.
You on the podcast, right?
Yeah.
But you only got it pointed at him.
It's me and him. I'll turn it. Answer the question.
So yeah, I feel like right. I feel like you said this ain't my personal, right?
No.
You went to the 819.
I got you, bro. I'm not about to fuck up with work.
I really think.
What me and my school think on this is no.
So to answer that question about if you feel like, do I feel like it's because he has the means to basically go through these changes? I mean, if this was a pie, that's a very small percentage of the pie in my mind. I just feel like, which is actually a conversation I've had with James that I'm actually glad, I guess we can open up on the podcast. I feel like this whole thing is based off of how we were treated as kids, and now we've totally let our hands off of the steering wheel because mama and daddy controlled our steering wheel so heavily and was on top of us. And now when it's our time to have kids and to go through emotions with them, we like, you know what, we hate it feeling this toxic energy of you on top of us, of you telling us what to do. So you know what, you're gonna be free, child. I'm gonna let you do whatever you want to. You want to dress up, you want to wear dresses, that's cool. You know, you want to do these things, that's cool. I feel like it's more so that than the fact that Dwayne Wade has the means and his kid is well off and everything. I really feel like it's a culture thing, or a generational thing from our parents. We going through the things we went through with our parents, and them being so overbearing, and so they didn't listen to anything we ever said. We never had any sort of opinions. Yeah. And now it's like, okay, we made our own kid now, and I'm never gonna let that happen. Yes, baby, you are whatever you think you are. Yeah. And I just feel like for his particular instance, for the sake of this content, I feel like 12, like I just said, you would not allow your 12-year-old, some people wouldn't let their 12-year-old stay at home by themselves. Yeah. But you're gonna allow your 12-year-old to make a life-altering change and to call themselves transitioning. I feel like that's problematic in so many ways. And I think that's the issue. Like, we've let our foot off the gas so much that the car is just moving in whatever direction. We've let our hands off the steering wheel of our children in such a dramatic way that we just flying by the seat of our pants. There is no direction. There is no anything. So that's my opinion on the whole thing. So, I mean, how do you feel about him and how do you feel about him having this 12-year-old that is coming out, you know, saying that he coming out and saying that I'm trying to get the pronoun right, coming out and saying that they are feeling like they are another sex?
Well, it's definitely fascinating to see the discussion around it because I've seen both sides, but definitely more sides of people kind of in line with what you're saying, where it's like, how can you let a young person kind of come up to that conclusion? But to answer your question, it's something I really don't feel qualified to speak on other than just looking at it. And I mean, my opinion on it is just kids don't really know what they want. It's like, it's just weird because I can't say a person doesn't know that they don't like a certain gender, you know what I mean? And I always just think, because I have family members who are homosexual or gay, and so it's like I always feel weird just to be like,
homosexual and gay are the same thing.
Well, I mean, homosexual, gay, and gay, lesbian, but no, so I always think it's weird just to be like, no, they don't know what they like, because I mean, maybe you do, I'm sensitive to it because I have family who like live the lifestyle, so it's like I feel like they maybe do, but as far as feeling like you're in the wrong body, like that's just on another level of, I can't imagine what caused you to feel that way. Like, I can understand something traumatic happened to you, and maybe that's why you decide
you were triggered.
Yeah, I can see why you decide you like the same sex, or you've had experiences like, just as an example, remember the Aaron Hernandez thing? Y'all seen the Aaron Hernandez documentary? Yeah. Where like he was sexually abused.
The reason why he was killing everybody because he was closeted gay.
Right. Well, right.
The only gay person that just went on this rampage.
I think that was
whole rampage on this gay rampage because
holding in on
wanted
that
to
gay
man
rage.
this whole time. Come on, man. Don't disrespect gay people like that.
Well, I mean, but that's like an example, like, you can't, him being molested at such a young age, like that could be a reason why you could argue why he felt the way he felt about, same sex relationships. And as far as a kid, like I just my question to the question is just like, what makes a kid a young man, a young boy, definitely a man, yeah, a young boy just as they're growing up just start to feel like, man, I can't, you know, because when you look at Dwayne Wade, I look at him as like a pretty masculine father figure. You know, he has another son, plays ball, obviously, and I wonder where, and you know, grew up in the same household, I assume. I just wonder where the difference in his parenting these kids came from for his one kid to kind of identify like that. And it's just always hard for me to like not think about Magic Johnson's son too, because his son kind of like the same thing in the sense where it's just like, man, you just get some people who, no matter how masculine or how, you know, male stereotypical they are, like it won't translate to your kid, you know. So yeah, it's confusing me.
Yeah, but I think there's a difference between Magic Johnson and Dwayne Wade. Magic Johnson, I mean, is out there, is not really messing with his kid like that.
Is he not? Because he always in pictures with him.
Now, I'm saying when he was really out, and even when he's out, and he's like when he was out in these outlandish outfits, I don't remember seeing Magic Johnson nowhere near him.
Yeah, I give you that.
I see him pictures. I seen him.
I've never seen EJ in his revealing whatever he done put on, and then Magic right there. I've never seen
bathing
that.
suit and Magic.
I've never seen him in these provocative.
Oh, you trying to say
outfits.
EJ got clothes on when he with pictures with Magic?
Exactly.
Not like masculine clothes, but like just clothes.
Right, he not out here on.
He ain't got his titties out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't feel like Magic rock with that like that. That's his Magic's son, and he gonna love him and all the things you're supposed to do. But I don't really believe Magic really rocks with his lifestyle like that. I think that's his kid. He made him, and that's what you do as a parent. I would assume you riding with your kid until it's over with. But to compare it to Dwayne is out here like on Ellen, on these things, calling him, you know, look at my girls and this. So I mean, I could see why people would have an issue with it. They feel like he's once again this sort of like emasculating like the black man and doing all these things. We could get into the whole conscious spiel, but I feel like there's a difference. Like you're not gonna see Magic out with EJ like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, James, how you feel about the whole Dwayne Wade coming out and saying, you know, he now is welcoming his new daughter, or not new, but he gonna call his son by a different name now at 12.
I agree with what you said when you open up the argument about the whole we're in this new generation to where our parents overbeat us, so now we oversensitive with our kids. I was talking about, it's just funny that you said that, because I was talking to, I was joking on Isaiah I was joking on Isaiah when we were at Old Navy today, and I guess he said people call Isaiah fat. Isaiah is nowhere near fat at all, but he said people call him fat, and he was saying, I said a joke about Isaiah because Isaiah got a big old butt, and it's funny because the way his clothes fit on him. So I was just talking about him, and I was making a joke, and because I was playing the song "Too Much Booty in the Pants," and he was like, "You're fat shaming me." I was like, "What?" So we're in the era of shaming of every kind of oversensitivity and things like that. Isaiah's 11.
You got one of them?
Yeah, I got a fat shame child.
He said, "You fat shaming me, Dad."
Yeah, so
that's wild. You came from my loins.
I respect any type of support from parents to kids. I think that seeing how my uncle was gay, and everybody talked about him.
He is. He ain't died.
Gay. My fault. He's still gay. Yeah, still alive.
He was gay.
People used to make comments, especially my dad and stuff like that. And you know, just the way people act like he's still not a man, he's still not that. I think it would have gone a long way with helping his confidence, or just maybe helping some of the decisions he had.
I agree with that.
And I respect that aspect, especially
that he should have been treated different. Like he should have been treated like the same.
Everybody else.
Yeah, he should have been treated the same.
And I also agree. And I looked at it from a standpoint. I don't know what my son is, but you know, I want to see how people handle their kids when you just want them to know that they have overwhelming and what's the word? Unconditional support from you. So that's kind of like I was looking at it from that aspect of how does somebody handle way more spotlight to me to let their kid know that they're secure, whatever you decide to choose. But I'm like, so I have that part. So, that part, I side with that. But then this is the part where I have with out of all the LGBTQ and letter. The T part is we've been over this, I'm not the most spiritual person, but I just feel like we get in this era, and this is not to the transgender people at all.
Just spiritual or religious?
I'm not a religious person or a spiritual person. I'm kind of just set with what I believe in. But we just becoming like an arrogant. I feel like a lot of people are getting arrogant because, like I said, the transgender thing doesn't just stop at is you can't sit there and be like I picture myself as being a woman born in a boy's body, but then laugh at somebody when they say I envision myself being a tree in a human body. You get what I'm saying? And not trying to like make a joke out of it or anything like that, but it's like, where do we stop it? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's almost like I only call it arrogance because I'm just like, you telling somebody when you came out that they made a mistake. Now, I guess I'm more caught up and tolerant, and I accept all, but it's like, it's not, that's they life, that's their decision, so it's not like I'm saying they can't do it. It's just, I'm just not all the way there with I'm not all the way understanding, I'll call it that, of just like, when do you tell somebody who created, it's not one that I'm attracted to man or females of that same sex, that's one, but you tell somebody you got it wrong, and I'm gonna go undo what you've done. You know what I'm saying? Like, where do you stop at from that aspect? And also, I look at it like at 12, I wanted to be a chef.
Right, you wanted to be things.
Exactly.
You didn't want to be a sexuality.
Well, yes. But what I mean, like, not a sexuality, but I mean, like, I wanted to be something that I didn't want to be when I got older. You know what I'm saying? So as
your mind changes a lot.
My mind changes at 12. Now, I'm pretty sure that that's something big that you want to be like. Don't be like at 15, like, yeah, I don't want to be this no more. I'm back to Zion. But what I'm saying, just like at 12 and stuff like that, that in my opinion is very young to just not, and it's weird if you watch like Stranger Things. Don't they got a transgender? I don't watch the show, but one of the characters, no, Sabrina, my fault, the Teenage Witch show. Right. One of the characters is transgender, and she's got to be like teens. You know what I'm saying? Like 13, 14. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know. That's not me. So I don't know. Like, I'm just really young to not know what else the world is. But I'm not in that situation to where I am feeling like I'm something. If anything, I feel like I'm a rich man trapped inside of a struggling person's body. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's a lot of struggle. It's a lot of struggle that I've had to overcome. But in my mind, if y'all see the way I swipe my card and spend shit, I spend shit like as if I got money in the bank. I go there and act like I don't need to check my account when I probably need to check my Navy Federal from the way stuff is going. But just to bring it back to seriousness, I'm kind of like, you have to show me, you have to tell me how God got it wrong. And if you can make that make sense to me, then I can fully understand the T aspect of it. If you can tell me how you were born wrong, not to be hated, because that's what I don't want that to be. Not to be like, I don't want to be, say, because Christians will be like, God don't like gay. No, I think God knew what he liked. He doesn't create people to hate. That's one thing. But when you say that, oh, God got it wrong, you know what I'm saying? That's when it's like, that's when I feel like that's when I feel like it's arrogant. So you know what I'm saying?
When you throw the nature versus nurture kind of like debate when pertaining to like young people identifying as trans or whatever, like, do you think that has anything to do with it? As far as, do you think, just like kind of Kyle was saying before, like, you think there's just something that can make a kid kind of just like think, you know what, I think I'm a man, a girl, in a boy's body, or do you think it's just like they're just born?
I just don't get why is it that you lean more to being effeminate or masculine? That just means you was born wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, I play sports and my mindset is I want to windmill dunk. and I can't go up and do half the stuff I see on TV. Does that mean like I was born wrong or something like that? You know what I'm saying? Just because of my abilities, like that doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like you get what I'm saying? Like it's just certain things that like, or you know, I want to be a superhero. In my mind, I watch enough comic books and stuff like that to think I should have been an X-Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't want to make it seem like it's a comical thing, but it's just like that's where like it's. Like, I already said the age.
I mean,
part.
you were 12. I mean, you're a 12-year-old, and so it's like you have all these outlandish thoughts of things, and the good and the bad part about having the parents we had, it was like, nigga, go sit down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, sit your dumb ass down.
Like, chill out. Like, what you talking about? Like, you know, and of course that was terrible.
A terrible parent.
Terrible parenting strategies, terrible ways to convey, you know, that you were not into what I was into. But at the same time, I mean, and of course, I guess some people would argue that that's why they killed themselves, or that's why they ran away, or that's why this or that. All fair points. I really just feel like we, as parents and potential parents, need to I don't think we need to throw the baby out with the bathwater as far as how our parents raised us. Mm-hmm. I just think we need to reflect on the things that really upset us and look at that and say, okay, this is what I didn't like, but how, you know, but I know why they did it now. So I'm going to try to put my spin on it. I'm going to try to hold you down as my child in the best way possible and shower you with unconditional love and everything like that. But also at the same time, know your place, know your role. Yeah. You're 12.
I think you need to. I think what we should have took from our parents and what we didn't is just the explanation. Like we weren't explained things as kids. We were just beat. Mm-hmm. You know, find out, put stuff together. So now it's just like we want the explanation and what should have been done, which we still needed to ask for, and we just needed better understandings for that. And I think that's what it is. And like you said, I agree. Me and you had the conversations like offline about like why I feel I can't be all the way on your side about it. I'm kind of swindled in it, but mine is more like I said for the arrogance part. That's how I see that, as arrogance, to tell somebody that like y'all ain't never created outside of sperm and whatever, y'all never created anything. And then on top of that, just to change over to a girl, i.e. Bruce Jenner, and then date a girl, and then what will call me a lesbian. I was like, you could have did that. You could have just stayed a guy and did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's like I said, I don't want to go into it without like causing any stir, being disrespectful. But it's just like I identify myself as a girl, and I'm a boy, and I turn myself to a girl, and I'm still attracted to girls. So I identify myself as a lesbian my whole life and wanted to be with girls, and I'm gonna turn to a girl. Like, you could have just dated girls. You know what I'm saying? But that's the just know the bare minimum part of me talking. You know what I'm saying? That's not the let's delve deep into this topic. That's just like then that's why I try not to avoid going too far into like because I don't want to be disrespectful, because this is something serious to that letter of the community. And just like I took the time to learn, just like I take all the letters serious, because they've gone through their own discrimination. You know what I'm saying? That is something to be aware of.
Yeah.
And last thing I add to it, I do give Dwayne Wade and his wife respect for the fact that, you know, you don't ever get to see how kids like that grow up. And I imagine that kids growing up with that identity crisis isn't always as nice as how it looks like Dwayne Wade's daughter is going to be living her life, as far as being open and happy about like where they stand in their life and how they feel about their feelings. Because, you know, it's just, it can't be an easy thing for a kid to go through, let alone an adult, right? But I like I said, I give them respect for that, because you don't really see how those kids get raised, and at least they're doing what parents should do. Like, you take care and you love your kids. Like, that's all you really expect any parent to do. So at least they're just leaning into it and just being like, fuck it, this is my kid, I'm gonna love my kid, and I'm just gonna show you that, you know, we're not gonna let society dictate how we love our kid. And that's, you know, it gets I respect for what he's doing, regardless if I think of them raising him.
You agree with it or not?
Yeah, regardless if I agree with it or not, or think the lifestyle choice or whatever, I just think it's just cool to see. I mean, you never get to see those kind of kids actually raised, like to compare it back to the EJ thing, and imagine like you didn't see him you didn't see how he interacted with EJ, how he grew up, and to see Dwayne Wade, like, and who knows, that could spark. I mean, because believe it or not, there are gay people walking amongst us. There are trans people walking amongst us. So it's like as hard it is for us to accept it and just like understand it. It's like in reality, there's a lot of people out there like that. So, you know, their story is probably going to just make it so much easier for a lot of
And
kids.
they didn't have a D Wade to come out there and support them. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why I respect that part. All the people get murdered, kill themselves, and stuff like that. A D Wade or anybody that's tolerant or something that just like a family member support could have saved a life for those people that felt like they were alone. So that's why I said I respect what you're doing. You know, even if you are just putting your son out there, I hope that he.
I hope he's providing an explanation, like you're saying.
Yeah,
I hope he's providing an explanation.
I hope his son was the one who wanted to be put out there like that, not you just
trying
to beat the story.
Right. On some Malik Yoba, I'm trying to step up.
Exactly. Malik Yoba, I feel like they had a transgender story. He was just trying to let y'all know before he ended up like Mr. Fat, whoever got caught with Tevin Campbell. He said, I got a movie coming up. And before y'all catch me sucking some woman's dick in this car, I want y'all to know that, you know, they beautiful. So that's why he came in so eloquent, because he knew that somebody was about to tell on his ass. But
I hope there's an explanation behind every move that everybody makes. And I hope, you know, like to end this with your thing about Isaiah, at some point, it didn't have to be at that moment, but, you know, you have an explanation, you have a talk with him, like what fat shaming really is. Unless he was joking, I don't know. Unless he was joking with you.
Yeah, serious.
Right. I feel like then a conversation needs to happen. Like, what exactly is fat shaming?
My mom I kind of try to break, but it's like, you know, he 11, he ain't hearing that. But I'll go into it again. We've had these conversations, like, you don't have to. It's harder to tell a kid something, because my mom was like, well, when kids were making fun of you and you told us, did you take it that way, or were you feeling the same way? I was like, no, because I was actually chunky. Isaiah's like frail. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I mean, I can get, because he takes it serious, I should take it serious too.
And you should have a serious dialogue about it.
But I just feel that like it's one thing to just, because like even I remember one point I said white people. You can't say white.
Right,
that's racist.
because it's racist.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So
it's an observation.
Exactly. So
Children.
like who, that white girl right there? That's racist.
Yes, they all think, and that's kind of my point. Like you're 12 and you think everything is racist.
You think
but you want to change.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
we're gonna leave that right there. We're gonna transition to somebody else's offspring who has also made a transition into college.
Bitch ass nigga, Tyreek. You thought we forgot about your whole ass nigga? Huh? If you ain't seen Power by now, y'all had long enough, okay? I just want to say this disclaimer. I wanted to spoil that shit for everybody, okay? I wanted to spoil every
I actually watched it out of
thing.
order, screwed it up for
Did you? The last season?
Yeah, I watched the last episode before the second to last episode with Cedric, and I was texting James about it. He was like, nigga, you watched the last episode? I said, I did. But yeah, so Power ended. How do we feel about how it ended?
First off, that whore got her justice, all right?
You have to clarify who that is.
We know, y'all know who that Scanlon,
Black
trifling ass.
Yeah.
First off, I want to say this. Natari Naughton, fine as a motherfucker. Okay?
I was gonna say, I thought you.
No.
She's cool.
She's
cool.
I love dark skinned women.
I mean, I can respect that. I mean, I love dark
love the
skinned
Jamaicans too.
But
I love dark skinned women.
Cool. As far as like a celebrity is concerned.
But I'm saying she's fine. She's like, but as far as Tasha, let's get to Tasha. I just want to, when I'm talking about this, when I'm saying these derogatory remarks, I'm talking specifically to Tasha. She got her trifling ass just due. Now to go
today,
so we're not spending like 40 minutes on this. To go from I could have did without pauses or episode her sister, and I could have did without the Tate one. The Tate one I really didn't need. I guess it's just like he
thought he got a happy ending.
I like him and his brother, his real life brother, who's a brother of the show too. I like them acting.
Is that his real life brother?
Yeah, that's his real brother.
They looked alike.
Did they?
Yes.
I thought I didn't know. I thought maybe
because he's in
him.
All American.
Yeah, he the blood.
Yeah, with that sprayed on beard.
What up, Fi? Yeah.
You watch
know
All
what I mean?
American? You should
good as fuck.
Right, you should get with it.
But
channel I come on.
CW.
But you can catch up on first season on Netflix.
Yeah.
But I thought I could have did that. The Tommy and the last one was really the only two we need. I like the Dre one because I don't know. It kind of makes.
I mean, he had a lot more stuff going on. So
Dre,
that was a more exciting episode.
Yeah, Tommy was good. They could have dealt with them three, and then the last one.
Yeah, now that you said it, Paz was not important at all to me. And who?
Sax.
Sax.
It was 4 episodes. It was Sax, Paz, Tommy, Tate, and the last one.
Yeah,
so they could have did all that shit.
Yeah, scrap some of that.
And then I liked. Oh, so I personally I thought if they would have just ended with the last one, it would have ended very good. The episodes just kind of drug it out. You didn't get the reason why Ghost looked like a dickhead to everybody because it was his perspective. Everybody's perspective of why Ghost looked like a dickhead was because that's how they view him talking to them. But Tyreek, I thought they could have killed him better. I like when they brought Kanan back.
Wait, Tyreek
Killed Ghost.
Oh, okay.
I thought they could have killed him better.
That slow-mo bullet.
Tasha's trifling ass. Sleeping with the nigga, gonna plant with him, but my dog was smart.
You're right.
My dog went out. Boy,
got it.
I wish he would have came in with the police.
How dumb was she though to think that he wouldn't just flip her like that though? Like,
but no, it wasn't how dumb. How smart was he to go get an alibi because he didn't trust her ass? Like, who thinks of that?
Which wasn't really that hard because she was acting suspect. Like, he would be like, you straight?
You know how niggas act over some booty.
I do.
Okay? No, she wouldn't. The cheeks wouldn't do me like that.
But wasn't he like some ex-con or something like that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he had some sort of...
He had been to jail.
Okay. And he got a little girl.
Exactly, which made her most fucking trifling. But that was in, and Ghost ain't leave her a goddamn dime, and then Tyreek, that shit was hilarious. But I did everything. He left the mama a year. She was like, "Is that it?" I bet you'd be lucky if you didn't take care of his daughter. With none of us off all this time, we wouldn't do none of that. But yes, took that wig off, bald-headed ass up in jail. It was very fitting. She ain't get a goddamn thing.
How did you feel about Noah?
I too was happy that Tasha got what she kind of deserved because she just
trifling.
She just
fucking since the first episode got the nerve to be mad because Ghost found the love of his life while you out here masturbating 20 seconds into the show.
Well, it's just sad because
with the driver.
It's sad because
my Lord,
she's pretty much the reason she drove Tyreek to do it. Ultimately.
I think Ghost ultimately drove Tyreek to kill him.
But she was gonna try to kill him herself, just like a lot of them were. But
I mean,
I think she ultimately drove Tyreek to do it, which makes it even more sad because like you just doing it just because I mean, as soon as the day after, once they go see about his will, they're over here just trying to get some money. And it's just like, see, everything that Ghost was saying was true as far as y'all not accepting his new life. And as soon as Tyreek killed Ghost, I mean, just seeing him regret it almost immediately. I'm just like, see, this stupid, so I had the same, it made me cringe. I'm like, Tyreek, you stupid mother, like.
But everybody told him exactly what was going to happen. You going to do it. You're not going to get that type of solace. Tommy even told him, like, you do it and it doesn't give you the joy that you want because you're killing your parent. Like, even how mad you are, when you kill them, that doesn't go away. That love ends at that point because you realize you love them at that point.
I knew he was gonna do it though when Kanan showed up because when Kanan said, "When you got me set up, I didn't expect that from you." And that's when he said that, I knew like, oh yeah, he's gonna kill Ghost and it's gonna be the same thing. Like, no, he didn't expect his son to actually do that. But I mean, overall, it was.
And then he tried to set up Tommy to be killed. He was just trifling all around. And then...
Yeah, because he didn't know, there's no way he could have known Tommy was going to survive that.
But the scenario was like, the only part I didn't like about the end was when he immediately got into college. Like, all right, we'll get you into college. But then his mama wasn't doing anything. Like I said, I love when they arrested her. I love when they was like, he got a receipt from a restaurant in a Red Bull. I was like, dope. But like all of a sudden, Tyreek in college like the next day. And then...
how many books is it?
They said 4.
So many spinoffs, man.
I want to see a prequel. I personally don't want to see the spinoff of the like second part 2. Like, what the fuck Tyreek gonna do that we ain't already seen?
So that white guy, he was just like the lobbyist of like
Sachs?
No, the guy who got him into college.
Oh, Stern. He tricked Ghost into working with him for the hotels. Remember? He was the one who had Ghost working on it, and that's how he found Lorenz tape. Yeah, he was kind of like making Ghost work for a contract he was never gonna get out of. That was like Ghost go to when he needed like money or something like that. He would just go work for Stern.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I agree. I don't care about Tate. I don't care about Tasha and Method Man.
Mary J. Blige.
Okay.
All them on
I
that.
don't care about that. Only ones I care about Tommy when he's supposed to be going to LA, and Young Ghost.
Oh,
that shit would have been so fucking. The prequel would have been way better than the post.
They need. Who did I send you? They need to get your boy out of jail.
Yeah.
Oh, the realest one.
What's
Let's
his
give a
name?
shout out to 2-Bit. All right, 2-Bit was too real. All right, the
2-Bit,
realest.
man.
I mean, he snitched at the end, but he said your boy out of jail. But the realest one on that bitch had to be 2-Bit. I promise you. Anybody, but what did you feel at the end though? How did you feel like it ended? Was it a good final?
I mean, yeah, I felt satisfied. They wrapped up some stuff, but and they led us to some different options and different avenues. I'm glad it's over.
Yeah.
Personally, I think we spoke about this since we made the podcast. I was just over the show. I felt like we
was transitioning to Snowfall.
We were definitely transitioning out of this into something else. I'm tired of being
Snowfall,
right. Yeah, we transitioned into other shows that we'll eventually get into on the podcast. All American being one of them.
Definitely don't give a fuck about For Life. That movie.
What is
I'm a
For
lawyer.
Life?
I'm a lawyer, but I'm also serving a life sentence. The one with that lawyer out there, Ben, he's in jail.
He's like a former convict. Now he's like a
Part-time, full-time criminal, full-time jail server, part-time lawyer.
I know he posts those hashtags on his thing, but
he's basically in jail being people's lawyer to take time off the sentence. Stupid.
But is that sentence for life? He got life sentence? Is that?
Yeah, he got a life sentence.
Who is the actor, the lead actor?
Or a nigga with a beard. Rough nigga with a beard, I don't know.
Oh, he ain't even.
He ain't nobody I know.
He kind of like the dude from Doctor Strange. Play more.
No, he do not at all.
Oh, Chinoa, whatever his name is.
African name, yeah. Also, bullshit to All American for killing off the daddy with just the most stupid.
Are you finally caught up all the way?
Yeah, I'm all the way caught up.
You all the way caught up?
Yes,
to like,
bro.
To
where he's already been shot trying to overwork it. Yes.
Okay.
Bro,
right.
like without, bro. First off,
spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler for anybody caught up. But Spencer Daddy, we don't end it
for him.
Well, fuck him. But he doesn't get a chance. But I would just say this, and we'll end it. We'll be the last topic. It was so corny, like how he got diagnosed with an illness, ran away. How the fuck he just died on the couch? Like he just, I'm gonna walk in. Nigga, you showed no signs of. You didn't start getting weaker. You still.
I'm gonna go get the rest.
I'm gonna get. I was like, watch he go. And then
that's what Sonya said. She was like, he gonna be dead.
Yeah, so her dad come back, and then Spencer with that over. Now he played the role right, but yeah, yes, bro. Like that was a cheat. If y'all didn't want him to be on the show no more, y'all could have killed him something other than being perfectly healthy to walk to the couch, and then on top of that, he didn't even fall on the fucking floor. He just gradually walked to the couch and. I go now. So fuck all, man. That was like one of the few stupidest. And besides that, Spencer keep making the same dumbass decisions all the fucking time. But shout out to him because I didn't know he was British until I seen him do another interview. We don't got any Americans playing American roles.
Right, he's British. Your boy from Snowfall is British.
The dude from Doctor Strange is British.
Yeah.
Idris Elba is not from America.
Well,
I'm just saying. I'm not saying that ain't nothing. I'm just saying like
he does a terrible job at trying to hide his accent.
all the black people that play all these prominent roles ain't from America. Shit, even the white people too. Rick ain't from Walking Dead. Ain't from America.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah. So
and Jason from
Jason Weaver?
No, what? Jason from True Blood.
Oh, from True Blood, yeah.
I'm
just tired of the lot. When will the deception stop? I don't know. Y'all got anything else?
No, I think we touched All Americans good. Everybody should watch that.
Yeah.
You got anything?
You want to do a sign out? Shout out.
So y'all say y'all ain't seen Men in Black, right?
No, I'm not gonna watch that bullshit either.
Men in Black?
I'm sorry, not sorry, Men in Black. I meant Bad Boys.
I saw Bad Boys.
Wrong Will Smith franchise.
I saw Bad Boys. Bad Boys is good.
What you think? You liked it?
Yeah, but I mean, we done got to the end, and he ain't seen the movie.
Okay, well,
I'm okay without him here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to spoil. I mean, I thought it was pretty good. They had some good jokes in there. They didn't overdo. I thought maybe they were gonna overdo, but they didn't really overdo much. It was pretty much set to what these.
Out of all the movies they had, this is the only one with like a real plot.
Oh, I'm my.
Yeah, it had like a
piece.
plot
That was the
production.
end of that. It was funny, the funniest.
All right, now I want to end this off. You got some friends that are parents that listen to this.
Yeah,
Okay, like the kids are like middle school aged.
I have the oldest.
You got the oldest
All
child of
my
everybody.
friends
All right,
are.
so this is actually for you. So
Yeah. I think I'm the oldest. I think maybe.
all right, so when any of the audience members' children get to a certain age in middle school, we all know what happens. Your body goes through changes. You have all these extra feelings going on. But I will say out there for the parents, please make sure you put some sort of device on your child's phone that lets you know when they are on things that they shouldn't be on. Because I had 2 instances 2 weeks ago, a week ago. I was trying to do something on some of my students' phones, and I said, hey, let me get your phone. I'm about to put this on here. I was putting Gmail on there so they can contact their teachers for anybody trying to do something weird. I was putting Gmail on there so that they can advocate for themselves and ask about bad grades and things like that. So I was like, hey, let me get your phone. And so I get his phone. Mind you, it's 1 o'clock. I get his phone, and I say, all right. So I open it. I don't even know what Jesus Christ. That's what I say. I say Jesus, and then I look at him. Of course, you know it's porn.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like,
y'all motherfuckers ain't too special, huh? Y'all just know what this shit is, huh? Oh, okay.
Now was it some crazy type of?
Thought you couldn't
it was
focus.
just, you know,
Thought you couldn't
basic.
focus, Bobby, because you out here focusing on Round and Brown. Goddamn that.
I'm like, man, I look at him in his face, and he looks at me. If he could cuss, he would have been like, damn. Like his shoulders slumped. He was just. I said, what are you doing? And he was like. He just looked at me. He was just
I beat dick, Mr. Banks. I beat my meat like it open my head.
He was just like, I said, dude, have you never heard of the incognito window? Like, why are you using the main browser for this? And he was just like, I don't
Why do you know
know.
the incognito window?
Because, Negro. And I
you mean
said,
the dark web? That the fake.
no, they love being on that, which is weird. And I was like, what if your mama caught you? Silence. And I was just like, so you'd have just been caught? Yeah. And so I went ahead and got out of it and went and put Gmail and stuff on it. And I was just like, listen, you need to chill. That's an at-home activity.
We talking like multiple pages pulled up?
No, just one, and that was all I need to see. I wasn't about to be caught with that on school premises during school hours.
Yeah.
And then so I sent him back in the classroom. I was like, hey, you need to go ahead and clear your stuff before you go to the house. So like 2 days later, I have another instance where I'm trying to put Google, Gmail on a kid's phone. Let me see your phone.
Glory hole.
Listen, so I look at it. I'm like, come on. And I didn't even look at him. I just said, come on, what are y'all doing? And I got to swipe out. And he was like, oh, yeah. Jalen was on my phone. No, stop lying. Don't stop lying to me. Okay, Jalen, he did that. He put that on. I said, and then I looked to see if he was on the school Wi-Fi. He was on the school Wi-Fi. I'm like, God, it's 12 o'clock.
I thought they did have a restricted access.
I thought I did too.
Man.
So if anybody's out there, you need to make those complaints to your school district and to whoever.
Who all
You
in
need
here
more
beating
strenuous.
Who all in here being dick? Huh? They send me out here because y'all slow, but you obviously advanced and look it up. Dick beat, huh?
Listen,
Tyrone,
I ain't
remember
even-
you done failed 5 times, huh? That's why you done nutted your braids out.
I'm not gonna bring it up. I just know that they are lucky that Mr. Banks caught them.
Isaiah, you up there being dick?
You better get out that toilet.
They gotta know. Don't be beating that little twig of yours. I had to talk.
But yes, that was just my thing I wanted to share about me finding my children on porn sites in the middle of the day at school. Parents do better. And
Who does these date dick beaters?
I was like, I don't understand.
Niggas stuff to do.
And you know, I told my
you better.
fiance about it, and she was, I'm like, man, that was a weekend activity, and she was like, well, Taylor, you were a little more conservative. Ain't nobody waiting for the weekend, like it was.
I ain't waiting either, but I'm just saying. Look,
At least past 8 now.
I'm like, at least let everybody go to sleep first.
yeah.
But you know, they ended early.
No, I ain't going that far. I mean, I'm grown though, so I done hit privilege levels of just.
Well, I'm just saying for
but as
yours
a
up
kid,
there, that's going through all type of changes. Just know. I don't know how you want to tackle that or not, but just.
So the day, sorry.
You,
The day you walk in and see Isaiah's trash.
Ain't nobody ever walk in on me beating dick, and I'm not gonna walk.
No,
on him.
not him beating, but like the day you walk in, try to go throw away his trash can, and you see like little tissue papers and like jerkin bottles.
I don't jerkin bottles, nigga.
The day you see,
first off,
the day you see all that stuff.
Is that why your Jergens never? Is that why your grown ass still never has Jergens there? But you got all the bottles in the room. Okay, yeah. Before you telling yourself,
so we're gonna sign off.
I enjoy my me time, but whatever.
yeah. So I wonder, we all.
Did you call it meat time or me time?
Me time.
Might as well.
So which one?
Me and me.
Me. Okay, not M-E-A-T.
Nah.
Y'all good.
Ain't no me getting beat around here, okay? I'm not.
All right, y'all.
I'm not beating to my own.
We about to wrap it up here. No, go ahead and tell everybody.
Yeah, your handles, all that.
Thanks for having me, y'all. I really appreciate it. Once again, my name is NoahHellaHandsome.
It's your Instagram name.
Yeah, I mean, that's Instagram name. That's what they call me. And I just want to give a shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for having me once again. Shout out to Nate the Great, wherever he may be. Partner in crime with the podcast game. And can't wait to do it again.
Appreciate it. We'll get y'all on. We'll finally do the battle of the cast on this one. Also want to shout out my boy Keith. Just came from Japan, killed it over there doing the DJ thing. Also look out for Greedy.
Okay.
Yeah, he was over there.
Killed it.
I know.
I'm like, where were we going?
Killed it out there. He had a good set out there. I saw the highlights from him. And also my dog Greedy. What you say? Only Want the Paper mixtape coming out soon. Also, avid supporter, everybody that's helped Pierre, everybody that's watched our podcast help Dill. Appreciate the shout out, stuff like that. Everybody that posts, appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all check out our YouTube page. Make sure you check out our IG posts. And then make sure, hold on, Isaiah. Make sure you check out everything we got for it. I kind of messed up where I was going to leave with that. Also, everybody that has been supported, if y'all got any questions or anything like that, make sure you go to the 8morethan90podcast@gmail.com or leave us inboxes on our IG or Twitter to make sure you get in. We want to also thank Bamboo Rum. When you know what to do, you call Bamboo for sponsoring our podcast, being the only rum of choice that we get when it's time to get lit. And speaking to kids, doing something nasty, this is when we with our grown-up women about to beat that dick. All right, make sure y'all get some of that Bamboo Rum, y'all. It's picking up in your local store.